Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Protecting the Vision, where we often come together to share free public educational information because we want you to not only survive in this world that we're living in, but we want you to thrive as well. My name is Dr. Timothy Brown. I am the Director of Education for the National Optometric Foundation, and we're going to have a great speaker on. So go ahead and share this link. If you're watching us on YouTube, or you may catch this on a Facebook page, copy that link and text it to all of your family and friends, because the information shared tonight will be valuable for all of us, whether you're male or female. So go ahead and share with your family and friends and tell them that we have a dynamic speaker that's going to be on sharing great information with us tonight on this episode as we talk about mental health awareness. So before I bring our guest speaker on tonight, I just want to tell you a little bit about who we are as the National Optometric Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization. We are the financial arm and support for our parent organization, which is the National Optometric Association, the NOA. And we support the NOA in various ways. We support them by helping to do annual eye exams for communities as we travel to the National Optometric Association conferences each year. We do free eye exams, and we also partner with great people like VSP. They partner with us to provide glasses, the frames, and the lenses for the patients that we see on those days. And they also support us in other ways that we are just so grateful as a foundation and as an organization to have the support of our partners. And we want to thank all of you who have contributed to allow us to be able to give scholarships to students who are in optometry school, those who are thinking about going into optometry school and they're in high school. We want to thank you for supporting us and allowing us to be able to help these students as they are navigating their decisions to go into a career as an optometrist. We try to help students also get to our conferences by giving them traveling allowances and also helping them as they're preparing for boards. If they're needing financial assistance, we try to help them in those ways as well. We try to also educate communities about the 3 silent killers of vision, which is diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, hypertensive retinopathy. We want to make sure that you are aware so that these things do not steal your sight. We want you to preserve your vision. We want you to keep your vision. We want your health to also be in check. Speaking of health, we want your mental health to be in check as well. And tonight, as we're trying to highlight mental health awareness, and we know that it was in the month of May, and that this month is breast cancer awareness month. We've participated in walks, we've participated in the breast cancer events, but tonight our guest speaker would like to share about his experience as a therapist. His name is Mr. Blaise Harris. And Mr. Harris, he is a licensed clinical mental health counselor and a certified therapist. He has 15 years of experience as a firefighter as well. And he became a fixture in the fire and life safety education world. Although he's no longer part of the fire service, his ties run deep. Blaise became the dope Black therapist initially because he wanted to be a therapist for first responders. He knows that, the first responders, sometimes we won't talk with just anyone. You want to talk to someone that actually gets it. So he was there for them. And he later realized that he wanted to be a voice. He wanted to be an ear. He wanted to be that support for Black males and people of color who are dealing with their mental health. After going through his own problems with depression and divorce and grief, he found his voice and wanted to bring a unique perspective to how he does therapy. His focus is now on trauma. He utilizes several treatment modalities and sessions, including expressive and martial arts. Mr. Harris is a published author of Becoming the Dope Black Therapist, runs a men's support group every other Thursday, and he hosts a bi-weekly podcast called The Dope Black Therapist. You guys go to his YouTube channel, subscribe, The Dope Black Therapist. I promise you, something that he says in one of those videos will help you. I subscribe. it's already helped me. So I want you to get the help as well. Without further delay, let's bring on this great speaker, Mr. Blaise Harris. We're so excited to have you on our webinar with us to share with our listening audience. We know that you have a busy life. We know that you are working today, but we are so glad that you took a small portion of time out of your schedule to be with us and share on a webinar. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I appreciate you having me. And sometimes it's still weird that to list off those things that I've done and what we do. And it's just like, man, you better show up and show out.
That's right, my man.
So thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That list just confirms that you have not been sitting still, that you have allowed some of the things that you've gone through in life to be turned into something positive that can be used to help lift another brother and sister up. And I love that. I always tell people, turn that trauma into something positive. Turn that negative experience in life into something positive, and let that fuel you for something that you can use to help lift another brother and sister who may be going through the exact same thing that you're going through. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. And the National Optometric Foundation appreciate you for being on our guest speaker. And I know sometimes we talk about eye health and we're talking about eye exams, and we're always telling people don't delay, do it today. But tonight, I want to say don't delay going in and asking for help and going in to see a therapist. It's okay to sit on the chair, to sit on the couch of someone who is certified, licensed to help listen and also help guide you through the things that you may be going through or dealing with. You don't have to go through these things alone. Exactly. And I'm curious, Mr. Harris, what got you into therapy? You know, what was that starting point for you?
So the reality is, I was one of those people who didn't know that therapy existed. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know that I could even get depressed until I actually went through it. My divorce really did a number on me. You know, going through a divorce like I did, it was extremely difficult because I didn't know that I could feel as low that I was during that time. You know, you would think as a firefighter, the things that I've seen, that would be the cause of me wanting to get into therapy. And while, yes, I've seen some things that I still see, 15 years later, the divorce is what really did the number on me. I was at a point where I was always the happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
Going through that divorce, I could suck all of the happiness out of every room. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't doing any activity that I would normally enjoy doing. My home was my safe place. I didn't want to go out. I didn't have the energy, and it got to the point where I just wanted my pain to stop. And the only way for me at that moment was I had a suicide attempt. And that suicide attempt really opened my eyes into how real depression can be for some people. But I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to call. I didn't know what the process looked like, And so I actually admitted myself into a local psychiatric facility. And that's why I learned about therapy. I learned about group therapy and what it looks like, and talking with other people who dealt with the same things that I was dealing with, who didn't judge me, who didn't laugh at me, who didn't make me feel like what I was doing was something that would make me a pariah for everyone else, Yeah. And so when I talked to my individual therapist, he's like, why are you here? And I told him I'm going through a divorce and suicidal attempts and everything. And he said, are you eating? I said, no. I lost weight so fast without even trying. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't doing anything. He says, you have major depressive disorder. I was like, what's that?
It's like, come again.
I was like, what is that? What is that? And it was like, for the past 2 weeks, you've had a depressed mood. You lost weight without trying. You're not sleeping. You lost interest in all the things that you would normally do. You have constant thoughts of, ideations or attempts, and that's what I was dealing with. And I figured, if I can be this happy-go-lucky guy and nobody knows that I'm off work, nobody knows that I'm going through this type of stuff, how many other first responders deal with the exact same thing? How many firefighters, how many police officers, how many paramedics, how many dispatchers deal with this exact same thing, and they deal with this in silence?
Yes.
And I recognize that a lot of us, we're not going to talk about the things that are really bothering us, because the culture of the fire service is like, or first responders, is we're supposed to just suck it up and just keep going regardless of what we feel, but we also want to talk to people who actually understand what we go through, and then once I got to grad school, I recognize that brothers don't do therapy either. The culture is we're supposed to keep it to ourselves. We're supposed to man up, and we're supposed to just keep pushing it. We're supposed to provide and find a way, regardless of what you're feeling. You ain't got time to deal with all of this stuff.
Right.
And so I got into therapy to help first responders, help men of color, help people in general to be able to address their traumas, but also process their traumas so they can actually move through life and don't feel like they have to hide, or they have to constantly fight, or they have to constantly run away, or that they have to, they just feel stuck. I help them work through, process, and manage their trauma.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. And I'm listening to you. First responder,
Mm-hmm.
firefighter,
Mm-hmm.
out fighting to help others.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking those who are rescuing others needed to be rescued.
Mm-hmm.
You needed help yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but yet you were still pushing and fighting and going through all of that
Mm-hmm.
to help others, despite your own trauma that you were dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
You were still giving it your all, pushing forward. And then the fact that you said, I didn't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So for that man or woman who's listening to this webinar, and you don't know where to go, you're lost, you feel like you're at your last leg of the race, we want you to know that there is help. Mm-hmm. We'll have information posted in the comment section so that you can be connected to someone who can help you, or get someone close to you to help you as you're going through the situations that you're dealing with. You don't have to do this alone.
Absolutely.
That's why we pause to take this moment to do this educational webinar on mental health awareness. Mm-hmm. Real life situations happen to the therapist himself, and he's sharing it, being transparent and sharing it tonight, so that you don't have to suffer alone. Thank you, Mr. Harris. I appreciate that so much. That's powerful. That's powerful, because many times, not just us as Black men, but a lot of time of us as Black men, man up.
Yep.
Suck it up.
Yep.
Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
We had to deal with it. Grandpa had to deal with it.
Yep.
Why not you?
Yep.
But we want you to know, Black men, we want you to know, ladies, we want you to know, you do not have to go through this alone. There's help out there for you. Stay tuned. There's help for you. I just had to put that in there, Mr. Harris. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. No. You're absolutely right. And I think it's one of these things we forget, that, we don't have to live and do life the way that our parents and grandparents did. They lived in a completely different time. Yes. They didn't have, and like the thing about it is there wasn't access to it like it is now. You think about the battles that our parents and our grandparents fought and didn't say anything. And we wonder, is like, oh no, they didn't deal with any of this stuff. They didn't deal with any of this stuff. How many times have you seen, do we know that our parents, they argued, or we had a father or uncle that constantly drinks, or they know they've seen their parents in abusive relationships and they stay in those relationships instead of, getting a divorce and moving on. But then they couldn't divorce. They couldn't deal with that because they know that they needed to stay together in order to one, make ends meet, to be sure that everybody had, food, shelter, clothing, all of those different types of things. But they, what they could do? They could drink. They could drink every weekend, and they could hide it. How many times do you know of people who worked in jobs that they hated, jobs that, factory work that they didn't like, and that they had to do that, and that they just kept going day in and day out? There wasn't any other options for them back then.
And grandparents knew that it was best for both of them to stay together because then that kept the family going.
Exactly.
They didn't want the family to suffer. They sacrificed for us to have better, in the years to come. Our grandparents put the work in so that we could have a better chance in life. They knew if one of them would be missing, that this won't get done and this won't get done, and therefore the family would go down. They did what they had to do so that the family could have a better future, is what I'm trying to say.
No, you're absolutely right. But you also remember, like my grandmother is, I think she'll be 79 this year. So, and my great grandmother, she was born in 1921. You think, like, my grandmother is one of 17. Think about the life that they had to live right there. They grew up in segregation. They grew up during the civil rights movement. They didn't get a lot of love. They didn't get a lot of, hey, you're going to be sure that you're okay. They had to worry about living. You don't think that had an effect on them? You don't think that, and a lot of times we look at, oh, you don't understand. How about you don't understand what they went through either?
And much stress.
Yeah.
Not knowing if while walking home, I may be affected. Not knowing when my child walks home, they may not make it home alive.
Exactly.
Or, or in the same condition that they left. It's all of that stress and worrying, and you wonder why your parents stayed up until you came in that door, because they had all of those worries on their mind. Yep. They were worrying about you as you're out there, and you don't grasp that, or you don't learn that until years later. Why mom's sleeping on the couch and I'm coming in, because they want to make sure that you make it home safely.
Exactly. It's a different time. My great grandmother used to tell us how she used to watch, certain kids, and those kids would spit on her and call her the N-word and all these different types of things, and she would just take it. And what happens if she responds back? And you think about how all this stuff gets pushed down on us. We're thinking like we're even going back into slavery. You think about how we were supposed to act, how we were supposed to show up. Men could not show signs of weakness, because if they were shown signs of weakness, they could be sold, they could be killed, they could be whipped, for being weak. So you always had to show how strong and how big you were. Right. How's that translate into today? Oh, I always got to be big and strong to show you how I do these things. I have to show you who I am. I can't let you know I ain't no punk. You ain't gonna punk me down. Right. And then a lot of times is the women, having their kids taken away from them. Going from one plantation to the next plantation. It's just like that separation of family. Again, we deal with that today. You think about that. Think about coming up in the 80s and the 90s. How many people, how many dads weren't allowed to be in the house? They weren't allowed to be in the house because if they were in the house, they couldn't get the support that was needed for the family. And so many different things that's passed down generation to generation to generation. Resources weren't there. Now the resources are here. And we are just finally catching up and letting us know, it's like, okay, that did have an effect on me. That did bother me. That did shape how I see the world. What can I do to manage this stuff now? And I think a lot of times a lot of people, they would use church to go and get the help that they need. And I want to tell people, it's okay to have Jesus and a therapist. It's okay to have both. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But there are also some pastors who will tell you, it's like, I'm not qualified to help you with this. I can pray for you.
Right.
But I'm not qualified to, if you have a chemical imbalance in your brain, I can pray for that to get balanced. But going to a therapist or a psychiatrist, they are going to be the ones that can actually help you get that balance back.
You need someone who's licensed and trained into managing and treating the conditions there that's affecting you and how you behave and how you interact with other people. Yes, I see where you're coming from.
And it's like, I might give you a scripture or two, but you don't want me leading the flock and doing a sermon.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And like, that's like, it's a big thing. It's a big difference. Just like, you know, brothers that they feel comfortable going to the barbershop and talking about what's going on. Like I'm rocking, you know, a barbershop therapy t-shirt with someone who does really good work in the community, where he is a trauma-informed barber and he's getting other barbers to learn how to do this stuff and being trained in mental health first aid. So if they have a client that comes through and they talk about something that's difficult, he can tell them where to go. He can help them work through that stuff because he actually did the training. Now,
I love it.
Because he's doing this, how many other barbers aren't? You know?
Right.
And they don't have some, you know, a lot don't have the skills to do it, but this is where men feel comfortable talking about their stuff. You know? And so imagine if every barber had mental health first aid training. Imagine if every stylist had mental health first aid training, every nail tech, you know. When they sat down and they was talking about this stuff and just let this stuff out. Hey, you know, here's a list of people. I heard you talking about this. This is something you might want to look into. These are some people you might want to talk to. These are some people who are actual customers here and they do this type of work.
Right. Having that information handed, you know, being that resource there in the community, having that information, connecting people. I like that idea. I like where you're going with that. That's good.
So, and fortunately, there are a lot of people who are actually who are making those changes and seeing the need, you know, because it's okay to not be okay. And I think a lot of people are starting to recognize, you know what, I'm having a really tough day. I really need to talk to somebody about it. But I don't know where to go and I don't know how to deal with these things. But if you have these places, who have this knowledge and who are making it okay for you to talk about it, it's a step in the right direction. Even if you are talking to your barber, that's you talking to somebody. Even if you are talking to your pastor, that's you talking to somebody. That's a great thing. Even if you're talking to your homeboy, you know, that's a great thing for you to do. I am sure that your homeboy would much rather have you come and talk to them about what's going on with you and your life than to find out that you are no longer here because you're afraid to talk to somebody.
Right. You made a valid point there. Having someone to talk to, someone that have experience, maybe being a barber, but they can also have the resources there to connect you with the person who is certified and trained to help you as a therapist. And was that something that you found to help you as a firefighter with your work as a therapist as well? How did that help you when it comes to therapy, being a firefighter?
Well, so one of the things is I'm a part of a peer support team, the North Carolina First Responder Peer Support Team. And that's one of the things where, you know, first responders see us and they know that they can actually call someone on peer support to actually talk about their stuff. And the peer support team is the bridge between the actual person going through it and then connecting with a therapist. You know, like the peer support, that's an ear. You know, now they're not trained therapists and everything, but they are certified in peer support. So they give you a little bit.
Okay.
Sometimes that talk is enough to actually get the needle moving in the right direction. You know,
that's good.
You know, and I think that's a big part because a lot of us, my social media, I am very open about about my struggles. I'm very open about what happens to me. And I'm also very open about who I serve. When I say that I'm a first responder and I have these years of experience, they're more likely to listen to what I have to say because they know that I understand the things that they see and
Right.
that they deal with. Whether
Right.
it be a fire call, whether it be a shooting, whether it be divorce or dealing with grief and loss. They know that they can come talk to me and I'm not going to clutch my pearls at the stuff that they talk about.
Right. And I can attest to what you're saying, that you're very transparent in your videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The dope black therapist there.
Mm-hmm.
One of your videos I was listening to, you were talking about someone that was in your life that they left out of your life, and you weren't too bothered because you started thinking, what have they contributed to me?
Mm-hmm.
Over that time, I've been giving, but what have I received? And then, sometimes I say that because sometimes someone listening here might know, sometimes you got to let certain things go. You got to let certain people go in order for you to grow and mature as a person and to come out of that stressful situation there. So I encourage you all, if you're listening, don't just listen to this webinar, but also go over to the Dope Black Therapist and subscribe to his YouTube channel. I promise you it'll bless you when you go and listen to some of the videos, because he's very transparent and he takes it nice and slow so you can go through it, gives you time to think about what he's saying. And also, you might see, hey, I was in a similar situation like that, so it helps you navigate through some of the things that you may be going through as well.
Absolutely.
Now, I heard you also did a book. I don't know if you got a copy of the book with you or not, but I want to know what inspired you to do your book there and the impact you hope that your book will have on the reader.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Again, it all goes back to my divorce. It started off as something that was that it was a way for me to get all of my thoughts, my feelings, and my emotions and everything out. It was one of those things where I didn't know what it was going to be. It started off as a big journal, to be honest. It started off as a humongous journal. And then I was just like, I had a friend who's a book coach, and she read it and she was like, you need to finish this. Because I started it right after my divorce right after my separation in 2015. I didn't pick it up again until 2020. I didn't start doing anything with it until like 2020, and I finished it, and I was like, holy crap, what is going on here? And it's just like it's a memoir of how I got to where I am now. And it was one of those things where I needed to get my thoughts, my feelings, and my emotions out. And getting it out through words is one of the best things, because sometimes I can't say it to you, but I can write it.
Right.
And I get everything out, because I get flustered, I get frustrated, and I stumble over my words. But when I'm writing or when I'm typing, that's a positive outlet for me.
It's something about the stroke of that pen on the paper, man.
Yes.
Versus the words coming out of your mouth there. It's two totally different things. You can get a lot more done with the stroke of that pen on the paper, or you're typing something out versus you verbally, because like you said, your emotions get caught up in it. Your voice, starts changing, but that stroke of the pen, you might write faster, you may go a little bit slower, but it just comes out a lot better when you're doing it versus talking.
Absolutely. And for one of the best compliments that I gotten, this is from I got this compliment from a few firefighters. One of them said that your story, it felt like you were talking to me. It felt like you were talking to me, because I see myself in so many situations that you were dealing with. This is a white dude telling me this. Wow. And it's just like others that were like, yo, I saw me every time I was reading this thing. And the way that I wrote it, I wrote like I speak. I'm not very professional. I'm not. So when it comes to this,
Okay.
when it comes to this
It's
stuff,
okay.
I cuss a lot. I do all these types of things, and I wrote the story like I was having a conversation with my friends, and they said that that's what made it so easy for them to relate to. I had a brother who, like, we are good friends now. And he was like, bro, he said, I don't read. I don't like to read books. I finished your book in like a week, and you hit so many things on the head for me, and it made me make sense of my life. And I appreciate what you did. I appreciate what you shared, you know. And it wasn't just fluff that you would expect from a mental health book. You know, it was real. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on doing, is being authentic. I want to show up as Blaise. I've done so much to hide who I am, and I've done so much to put a mask on, that I don't want to mask for people anymore. So what I do is I show up as myself, and it's just me now. For some reason, Dr. Brown disappeared. There
I'm
we
here.
go.
I'm here.
Oh,
I
my
mean,
man.
hey, he had a sense that you were going deep, so he wanted the camera to focus in on you. You know, I love it.
And you had me worried though. But no, I was like, but I still get chills. I still get chills because I had a firefighter told me, he said, "You saved my life."
Wow, that's deep, brother.
Your
Someone,
story, yeah.
yeah, life saving, not just life changing,
Yeah.
life saving. Wow,
Bro,
that's incredible.
I still get
That's
chills.
good.
I actually had to shake that out, because it's like I still get chills hearing that. He said,
Yeah.
you saved my life by telling your story, by being vulnerable, by being real. And I think that's one of those things that I think a lot of us, we don't give ourselves permission to do. And it's I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of fighting and suffering in silence. And I'm pretty sure that so many of you who are watching this webinar are tired of suffering in silence and dealing with the stuff on your own. Like Dr. Brown said, you don't have to do this by yourself. You don't have to go through these things by yourself. There are people like me who see you. There are people like me who hear you. There are people like me who will give you all of the tools that you need to be able to get to the places that you want to be. But we can't help you if you don't come out and be like, hey, I need help.
Yes.
This is what I need to do. And now, at the same time, though, there are people who will look at you like, yo, I did therapy once and it didn't work out for me. And I'm like, I ain't like that therapist. That I ain't going back, because this one person made me feel bad. And I always retort. I was like, okay, so when you buy a pair of shoes, do you immediately buy the first pair of shoes that you see, or do you try on a few pair to be sure you got the right size, be sure that it fits well, be sure that your foot is comfortable?
Right.
So I usually try a couple of pairs. Why don't you do that with your therapist?
Yes.
Or you go to a restaurant, you get a horrible experience with this restaurant, but you keep going back to the restaurant even though you had that one horrible experience with that restaurant.
Right. You give it another try.
But you won't give therapists another try. You won't give therapy another try because you had one bad experience. Even if you get you go buy a car, you're gonna test drive a few before you find the one that you want.
That's right. And what we want people to understand watching this webinar is to don't allow excuses to block you from getting to resources, from getting to the help that you need and you deserve, because we have some talented, gifted people in the world who is just dealing with so much stress, and they can't quite get past the stress so that we can see their talents and their gifts and their skills be put to use. There's help. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to go through this alone. That's the message for today. You don't have to go through this alone. So if you have been going through trauma, if you're currently going through trauma, if you've been wanting help and haven't gotten the help, I want to tell you today, don't delay, get the help today. There are local mental health specialists, therapists available, and we want you to know that you need to reach out and ask for help. Today is the day. Information will be in the comment section about our guest speaker. You can reach out to Mr. Harris. He'll be able to connect you. If you can't go and see him personally, he can connect you with people and resources that can be of help to you. The National Optometric Foundation, we want you to understand that we do these educational webinars so that we can help people. We want to help you not only see clearly, think clearly, but we want you to live a healthy and wholesome life. And we want you to understand that we're a nonprofit organization. And anytime you want to find out more information about us, you can go to our website, www.nationaloptometricfoundation.com, and you can find more information about us. You can find more information about our parent company. You can follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page that you can follow. These webinars are on our YouTube channel. You can go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can share these webinars with your family and friends. And then most of all, if you want to continue to help us to do the great things that we're doing for the community and for students who are thinking about going to optometry school, we have a Cash App, and you can donate today. We get that, we put it towards scholarship money, we put it towards advancing students who are thinking about going into optometry school and help them make a better life for themselves. That's Protecting the Vision, $ Protecting the Vision. Our great speaker on today, Mr. Blaise Harris, has been out. He's been laying out information, sharing important information with you if you are dealing with trauma, you're dealing with stress, your mental health is not in check. And I want you guys to make sure that you don't just keep this information for yourself. Share this with a family member, share this with a friend so that they too can be informed. Mr. Harris, as you were sharing with us there, I know that you work with a wide range of clients. What would you say would be one thing in particular that you've helped people with, or a challenge that they've been dealing with there? And how do you feel like you help people work through that challenge there when they come in to see?
Oh, so it depends. Every person is going to be different, but what's going on in the world today is really stressful for a lot of people. And a lot of times trying to deal with their anxiety about, how to best show up in the world,
I'm sorry, Mr. Harris.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on in the world today. I just got to add on to this. There's people are dealing with some stuff that they didn't have to deal with before. Yeah. People are now trying to figure out how they're going to pay their mortgage. Yes. The government shutdown is happening right now, and people are coming into our office not knowing if they're going to lose their vision plan, not knowing if they're going to be able to feed their family. People are dealing with trauma for real. And some of you watching this know that this is true. So people need help more now than ever. I don't know if your phone's been ringing a lot more, but I know people are coming in and talking to us wondering if they got to take out a loan. They're trying to find a loan where they don't have interest on it because they need to pay their mortgage, and then they still have to go to work. I was talking to a lady on the phone today. She called it off. I still have to go to work and be happy and cheerful and still serve people, even though I'm not getting paid.
Exactly.
That's a lot.
It is. And it's like so many people, it's not just that, it's just, am I going to be able to live? Am I going to be homeless? Am I going to be able to take care of me? Is somebody going to cancel my job because I make a comment about X, Y, or Z? Or am I going to be attacked because I don't, mourn the way that you mourn, or I don't feel the same way that you feel about certain people? Am I going to be punished for exercising, my right to free speech? what am I going to do? How do I show up in this world? On top of dealing with my marriage might be dealing with going through some troubles, or I'm having difficulty with my kid. My kid is being bullied at school,
Right.
and it's like so many different things that it gets overwhelming. It gets super heavy. And what really gets difficult is like sometimes I'm like, I feel you. I'm dealing with those same things. And I wonder about those same things. And like showing up takes on a whole new meaning. So one of the things that we do is we work with people on trying to manage the things that they know that they can control. A lot of the stuff is out of our control. But what we can work on is how we respond to people, how we deal with people, how we interact with people, but also giving yourself an outlet to actually deal with your frustrations and your anger and your sadness as well. Because a lot of times what we'll do is like we'll walk around and our shoulders are like this all day long. We don't recognize that that's where our tension lies. We're walking around gritting our teeth and grinding our teeth all day long. Or we're looking around angry all this time. Or we're noticing that there's pain in our stomach. There's pain in our back. There's pain in our joints. There's pain in our, everywhere. And so therapy doesn't necessarily have to be you sitting out on the couch and us talking. Therapy can be us walking outside in the sunshine, getting some fresh air. Therapy could be us listening to music and vibing out. Therapy can be us drawing or painting or coloring just to help us to manage the stuff that we are dealing with at the time. Painting can be, like I said, I use boxing and martial arts in my sessions. Sometimes you might want to hit a pad. Sometimes you might want to scream. Sometimes you might really want to, punch something, but you don't want to hurt yourself. And so therapy doesn't have to look like, how does it make you feel all day long? It doesn't have to look like that. Therapy is what you want it to be. Therapy can be what you want it to be. I sit there and we will listen to, I have times where we listen to Kendrick Lamar in a session. And by the end of that session, that client feels a whole bunch better because they got their frustrations out. Or I have a client who wants to just like listening to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay because that's what they want to feel. Watching the tide roll away, and it feels good to them. I have a client who, I have clients who want to like paint and color and draw because they can't express what they're feeling, but those colors represent what's really going on with them. The things that they draw puts that feeling into a visual perspective. We play tambourines, we got drums, we got all of this stuff in the office. It's whatever the client needs. We're providing that client an outlet that they normally wouldn't have. We're providing that client an outlet that they normally wouldn't utilize. We're giving that client an outlet to be themselves. We're giving the clients the opportunity to be their authentic selves and to actually feel what they feel instead of hiding and suppressing it. That's how we help them deal with the stress and the struggles of the day. We don't allow them to keep it in and just deal with it by themselves. They know that they come into the office. If you cuss like a sailor, you cuss like a sailor. If you're a saint, you be a saint. You let all of that stuff out the way that you need to let it out. Give it to me. I'll take it. So you don't have to take it with you. I tell people all the time, hang your cape up on that door. Right. You can pick it up when you leave, but in here, take it off. Take that mask off. Be you. Talk to me the way that you need to talk to me. If you cuss at me, cuss at me. If you yell at me, yell at me. I can take it. You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
I love that. I love that.
So yeah, it's about you. It ain't about your therapy session. I've got nothing to do with Blaise. Yeah. Your therapy session is all about you. And if you need to just sit and don't say anything, we'll sit and not say anything. If you want to just like listen to some music while we do this therapy, we will listen to music while we're doing some therapy. It's all about you and what you need. It's not about me. It's not about your husband, your wife, your kids. It's about you.
Wow. And you being there to give these people that outlet is very essential. It's important to get these things off your mind, off your shoulders, so that your life can be better. Because we know that stress not only can bring you down and lead to depression, but stress can literally kill you. And we don't want you to be lost. We don't want to hear about you in the obituaries because there was not a therapy session that you went through where you can let these things out, get these things off your shoulder. And you're hearing from our licensed, our trained therapists today that you need an outlet. You need to go in and seek that help. If like you said, beating on a drum is your way of getting it out, beat on the drum, get it out, you know. And I thank you, Mr. Harris, for being there so that people can get these things out and talk to you. Now, I know there are some myths out there when it comes to therapy, not only just for men, but for Black communities as well there. Can you share some of those things and maybe how you had to deal with that as well, being that you are the dope Black therapist?
Yes, absolutely. Myth number one, if you go to therapy, everybody gonna know that you went to therapy. Ain't nobody gonna know you there seeing me unless you tell them. There's this thing called HIPAA. So that's one of these things. I can't tell people what's going on with you unless you give me permission to tell certain people about, you know, what's going on with you. Now, if you have if you're talking about causing some harm to yourself or someone else, then yes, I have to tell. I am legally obligated to do that, you know. But if you're coming in and you're just coming to see a therapist, anybody gonna know you there? Ain't nobody studying you. Unless you tell them, they ain't gonna know that you're seeing me. I ain't gonna tell nobody. I probably don't even know who you know. And even if I did, it ain't their business what we talk about. Another myth is therapy is going to get you done like that. After it, no, it takes a little bit. And like the first session is me trying to know why you're there in the first place. We don't really start doing work the first session. The second session is really when the work starts. You know, this is me trying to get to know you and what it is that we're trying to go after, you know. Also, just because I'm a therapist, it doesn't mean that I'm your therapist. You know, I have a life too. You can't just come up on my personal Facebook page. Hey, I'm going through X, Y, and Z, and I need you to deal with this right now. It's like, no, I will refer you to my business page, and you can contact me through this, and we can schedule this. And like people actually get mad because I don't give them therapy, right? I was like, no, dude. Like, do you you do realize there's a procedure to this?
You do things in order.
Yes. Like, you know, it's like anytime you go to the doctor, you got to do paperwork before you get seen. How am I going to know who to contact if something does go wrong? How am I going to know who to contact to let you know that, or one was supposed to contact you to let you know when the appointment is, you know? And then not only that, I might not be able to see you tomorrow. You got like you're the only person that I see. I might have 60 other clients who are trying to get in at the same time. And just because I can't see you this week or next week, it doesn't mean that I don't want to see you or don't have the time for you. Right. You know, and it's like, it's a lot of times like people don't recognize that there are caseloads, and there's sometimes they have weekly sessions, they have every 2 weeks, they have every month, every couple of months, you know. And if someone is a thriving practice, it might take a couple of times for you to get out there. And just because that person might have a wait list, it doesn't mean that they don't want to see you. It's like they're full. They have capacity right now.
And here I go. Thank you for saying that, because we go through this in the eye care world.
Yes.
We have a wait list, but that doesn't mean we don't want to see you. I promise we do. You know, I worked in a couple of people today, but I had to cut it off because they just kept coming through the door. Hey, can you see us? I said, hey, y'all have an appointment? No, but we can see you, but it'll be at a later date. You know, some people wait, some people don't want to wait, you know, but it doesn't mean that we don't want to help take care of you, but we can't see the whole city of Augusta. You know, we're trying to see as many people as we can and save eyeballs. But thank you for saying that. You just struck the nerve for me, as you can see.
But it's real though. But it's real, Dr. Brown. You think about that. It's like, you know, especially you think about if you're a mechanic, right, and you have to wait weeks to get a part.
Yeah.
You still wait those weeks to get that part. You know, or any kind of field that you're in. If you have to wait weeks to get something, you're going to wait weeks to get something because that's what you need. It's the same thing when it comes to us. It's just like I'm not sitting there as like, nope, I ain't gonna take that person. Nope, I ain't gonna take that person. Nope, I ain't gonna take that person. There's an opportunity for you to do a free 15-minute consultation with me, you know, and you decide if I'm gonna be a good fit for you or not.
Right.
You know, and that's how it works, you know, but at the same time, though, is just like, if I can't take you on, I have a list of colleagues that I can refer you to who might be able to have very quick availability. You know, and that's the thing is, it's like I'm not trying to gatekeep therapy. I'm not trying to gatekeep, you know who can see me and who can't. Like my thing is like, I want to be sure that you get the help that you need, and if it's not from me, I'm going to point you in the right direction.
Exactly.
And if it, like, say for instance, if you have an insurance that I don't take, that's not me saying, no, I don't think you're qualified to do this. It's like, I don't take that insurance.
Right.
You know, and it's like, it's not that I'm trying to be difficult. That's not the insurance that we take right now. I'm not paneled with them. That's not to say that I won't be later. Well, do you have a sliding scale fee? Yes, I have a sliding scale fee, but I can't do a therapy session for $10.
No, we can't.
I gotta live too.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. When we always tell people, when you decide to still see us, even though we're not on your insurance panel, you know, your $10, $15 copay is not going to be the same price that we're going to charge when you come see us as self-pay, you know, but it's going to be worth it, you know, because as you can see, we're in demand, you know, and we take time with you when you come there. And I know when they come to see you for their sessions are going to be good. So what I'm trying to say, if you got a therapist and you do that consultation and you find out that they're a good match for you, wait on them. It's worth the wait for your health, for your mental health. It's worth the wait. And you go through that session and you get help, and then refer that person to someone else that you know need help, because all of us know someone who needs some help.
Exactly.
All of us. All of us.
That's exactly it.
So I got to ask you too, your platform, you got a platform. I know you're on YouTube, you're on social media there. How do you use those platforms to reach and support your audience?
Well, the biggest thing, like my Instagram is probably the biggest one that I utilize. _dope black therapist, for those who are interested. What I do for that is I give, like I said, I give authentic messaging when it comes to things. If I don't just post when I'm happy, I post when I'm happy, I post when I'm sad. I model the behaviors that a lot of us have and show you how to actually work through them. You know, and I think that's one of those things, is just like, I let like this is the face of depression. You know, it's not just, it looks like this a lot, you know, and a lot of times I break a lot of myths down for people. Is like, anger shows up, depression shows up as anger in men. And I bet a lot of us know a lot of angry dudes in their life. And a lot of times it's like, those men are probably, it's not anger that they're actually feeling. It's something else. Anger is just a surface level emotion. There's so many things up under that. And a lot of men don't know how to put what they're actually feeling into words, which makes them even angrier, because they feel like they're not being heard. They feel like they can't explain it where other people can understand it, you know? So when you think about somebody who's angry, oh, he's just angry. Why he's so angry all the time? It's like, maybe that person's embarrassed. Maybe that person's frustrated. Maybe that person's overwhelmed. Maybe that person is feeling regret or shame or guilt about something. Instead of automatically thinking that person doesn't know how to control their temper or their anger, ask them what's really going on with them.
Wow. Yeah, you make a valid point, my man. men in general, and I know a lot of single moms and just
Mhm.
women in general. You guys, we put a lot of stuff on our shoulder, and then we
Mhm.
go to work and we put more stuff on the other shoulder.
Mhm.
And then we come at home and we got to deal with our kids or whatever's going on in school life with them, and we put more weight on us. It's like you run out of shoulders, and all
Mhm.
of these things are weighing you down. You get
Mhm.
lower and lower to the point where you're no good for others as
Mhm.
far as being a good help because you're
Mhm.
putting so much on you. And we want to let you know you can take some of that weight off your shoulder. We have people who are here certified, ready
Mhm.
to help,
Mhm.
ready to help.
Mhm.
If they can't help you, they can refer someone else. They can refer you to someone else as well.
Mhm.
Don't continue to carry that weight on your shoulders there. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Men, women, black, white, we
Mhm.
all know someone who can
Mhm.
benefit from seeing a therapist there. We
Absolutely.
want to do that. Now, as we're coming near our close there, I just want to talk about you in general there.
Okay.
Keeping yourself grounded.
Mhm.
How do you do it? Keep yourself grounded, mentally well while you're out there supporting each other. Because I talked about people who are out there rescuing others need to
Mhm.
be rescued.
Mhm.
So how do
Mhm.
you keep yourself grounded and going?
A number of different ways. I journal almost every day, either at the beginning of my morning or at the end of my day. I get all my thoughts out, so I don't have to keep them bottled up inside. I work out. I love to I love to lift weights. I love to hit the heavy bag. I love to dance. I love to sing. I play with my kids. Um, I write. I paint. I'm not an artist, but I like to play with paint and I love to color in my coloring books. There's so many things that I really like to do that really relax me. Even going for a walk, meditation, playing the PS5. Those are the things that I really do to actually allow myself to calm down so I can show up and be the best place that I possibly can.
Wow, I love that, man. Go ahead, hit a tone for us, man. You like to sing? Go ahead and sing, man. Go ahead. This is the platform for you. Go ahead and drop one on us for
And listen, if I were hungry, I'd do it for y'all. I'm gonna tell you what.
no, no, just play it. No, so I really do appreciate you for being on with us. Now, as we are wrapping up this session, I want to know what's next for you. Are there any special projects, any goals, any dreams that you're working on that you'd like to share with our audience before you leave us?
The biggest thing right now, I'm working on my second book, and I am working on doing some retreats. I would like to do more retreats and workshops where I can get more men to come out and actually talk about what's going on with them. That's in the works, and just right now trying to be the best dad that I can be for my kids. They got so many things going on right now, and trying to show up and, excel and be present for them in their lives. They take up a majority of my time, and it is one of those things that I really enjoy. I love being a dad.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You keep being a great father, a great role model, a great therapist. And I'm telling you what, I would love to partner with you with our church, Tabernacle Baptist Church. And if there's a place, or what state are you in?
I'm in North Carolina.
If there's a place in North Carolina that our men group can travel to and have our men's conference nearby, you come in and be a guest speaker, or you can come to us in
Yeah.
Augusta. I would love to partner with you and have you to come in. We have our men's conference always in November around Veterans Day. So it's always
Okay.
around there. So this year it's going to be November the 8th and the 9th, but it's going to be here in Augusta. But next year or in the years to come, I would love
Absolutely.
to plan where you can come in and help our men
Mm.
because we know that when men are healthy mentally and they're mentally strong, families are better, churches are better, and communities are better. So thank you so much for all that you do, and I look forward to partner with you in the near future as well.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. It means the world to me. Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Now, did I let you get everything out that you need to get out? Is there
Yes,
a final
sir.
word that you would like to share with our audience before you leave?
The final word that I have for you all is you are good enough. You always have been. You don't ever have to question that. You continue to get up and you continue to show up each and every day. If your best is only getting up to brush your teeth today, that's fine. If your best is just you getting up and you actually making your bed, that's plenty. If that's all you can manage for today, that's enough. You know, I want you to continue to do your best each and every day, and your best is going to look different for each and every one of you. You ain't trying to compete with anybody else. You're just being sure that you are okay. You are good enough. You always have been. You always will be. So keep getting up and showing out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You are good enough. If you're listening to this webinar, you are good enough. Continue to get up, continue to show up, and give your best. Your best is good enough. Thank you, Blaise Harris. I appreciate you so much, brother. Love you. And I'm going to continue to listen to you on your YouTube, and I'm going to start following you on your Instagram as well there too. I appreciate you. You have a great night, and we'll see you in the future.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Guys, I told you we were going to have a great dynamic speaker on tonight. Mr. Blaise Harris, speaking about mental health awareness. My goodness, he dropped some nuggets for us tonight. And I'm so thankful for him taking time out of his schedule to be with us. And I'm so thankful for all of you who have tuned in to listen to this webinar by the National Optometric Foundation. My name is Dr. Timothy Brown. I'm thrilled to be the Director of Education for the National Optometric Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization supporting the National Optometric Association. We also have the National Optometric Student Association, and we're going to continue to highlight the 3 silent killers of your vision: diabetic retinopathy, hypertensive retinopathy, and glaucoma. If you would like to follow us and find out more about us, go on our website, nationaloptometricfoundation.com. We're also on YouTube. We have our YouTube channel. You go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, National Optometric Foundation. And we also have a Facebook page, National Optometric Foundation. And if you would like to contribute tonight, we have a cash out, $ Protecting the Vision. You can donate. Every little bit helps. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you on our next webinar. Have a great evening.